a lot of people on this panel, and that is Armored Core Asset Management. Now, I have played through this game 4 times. It is that good. It is the game of my year for 2023, action game of the year. Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, brilliant. I think they captured everything in Armored Core down to the T. The fact that he was using a sword, a Zimmerman, the execution, all of that spot on, direct from the game. The fact that he had the voice in his head, very much translated to choral, and the attitude of the augmented soldier is exactly how I felt playing through the game. Everything on point. Favorite episode, down to the very last scene. Keanu Reeves blew this one out of the park. Great performance from him, and goddamn, I love it. And the biggest excitement for me about Armored Core coming on to season 1 is that means they have a relationship with FromSoft, and we could be getting another FromSoft story in chapter 2 of Secret Levels. So I think that is another huge takeaway for me. Um, I gotta stop gushing over this one. Maker, I know you played Armored Core 6. What did you feel about this one? Do you think they captured the essence of the game? What did you think, good and bad, on this one?
Yeah, this was one of my favorites for sure. Like I feel like they nailed the whole this AI or whatnot talking to you because that is very much in Armored Core 6. Um and this whole almost like the character being a little bit delusional and being being the best type deal. And I love that aspect of it, even to like the conclusion of finding out that the people that he was hunting were like him. And yeah, just awesome. I would have taken a whole season of this one. Um,
Yeah.
and I hope they do.
Mr. Jizzle, SPG, how did you feel about Armored Core?
I have not played Armored Core. I've watched you play Armored Core. But what I can say is Keanu Reeves does a great performance. The mocap captures every one of his like thoughts and like on his face as he's fighting. I think that was really cool. Um, I think it's cool that he's kind of fighting his past demons a little bit in his own mind. He's got that voice, and it's how he was created on why he's kind of schizophrenic in that way. And he thinks that he's the only one out there. And then the greatest, I think, of writing twists is when you can subvert the audience. Okay, that is a good thing sometimes, and when it's done in the proper way. And this was done in the proper way. So what you would normally think is that this guy's going to find out that he's not the only one, and then he's going to be interested to find out, well, how was I made? Why are there more of me? Let me get to know these people. No, he crushes their head. There can be only one. It was great, dude. I loved it. I would have loved, just like Maker said, to see a whole series based on this, especially if Keanu Reeves was in the chair. Um, Fantastic, man.
Yeah, absolutely. They pulled it off. Nads, how did you feel watching the Armored Core episode? Do you think this was the strongest one because of the star power, or did you feel otherwise?
I love our fellow Canadian Keanu Reeves. He got raised in Toronto. He did some great acting there. Love the episode. Even though I only watch you play, not knowing much of the story, he did like something amazing with it. And the episode is great. And I like when he crushed the guy with his hand, like you show right now. That was funny. Great episode.
And Houston, any takeaways you want to share for Armored Core asset
I haven't
management?
I haven't played the last Armored Core. I played the others. I think they did a great job bringing the feel of the game there, story wise, and their animation that they did with it, I'd be down to watch a movie. I'll go pay the ridiculous, 14, 16, 18 bucks and see it in a theater. It had me hooked. It made me want more. And all around, I think they did very, very well with it in the short time, even though it was kind of one of the longer ones, but not by much. It encompassed everything, like SPG said. It had all the aspects of it.
Yeah, I definitely think as an Armored Core gamer, you felt a lot of Rubicon 6, especially in the combat. I think they captured that especially well. The look of the mechs. That pulse shield does not work that well though. Just screw the pulse shield, just dodge. The Zimmerman and the sword, the fact that he used both of those weapons, like it blew my mind because you do an entire run using those weapons specifically because they are so badass. So just the fact that they went out and they chose those two specifically, I feel like they did their research. They knew what the community had to say about this game. They knew what they liked, and I think they hit a lot of things close to home. Um,
Rudix,
and I
I have a
appreciate
question
that.
for you.
Yeah.
What did you think of the silent part where he goes to reach out to the voice in his head and it's gone? Do you see the panic on his face? Like
Yeah.
it was almost like a best friend had died. I don't know, man. This
No.
was really well done, and Keanu Reeves' acting was really good.
Absolutely, you could feel, and that's the mocap there too. You could see the horror in his face when that voice was missing. And in the game, it's the same way. Whenever Coral is not there with you, something is wrong. When schizophrenia is part of the design, it's not normal to be sane. So you definitely feel that with Keanu Reeves. You're along for the ride, and I think the star power just elevates it. And he only gets involved in like the absolute coolest projects. So to see him on Armored Core as the interpretation of Handler Walter, it hit every single chord of cool. Johnny Silverhand, you did it again. Like, way to hit it out of the park. um yeah, just absolutely epic. I think a great way to finish off part one. And I'll give this one up as my favorite, not only for game selection, but for artistic direction in closestness to the game, and just overall feeling at the end of it. So, shout out to Secret Level, shout out to Armored Core, giving this one my top one. But let's get into the rest of the